Boom, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Brown here from the J Bro Show. Here today with none other than George Chiger, aka the Smorgasbord, professional competitive eater at in the Major League Eating MLE, ranked number 15 in the world, number 1 in Pennsylvania, and number 1 in my heart. George, welcome aboard, sir. Good to have you.
Well, thank you for having me on. You know, it's a real honor.
Well, thank you for being here. I mean, first of all, I mean, when you talk about like professional leagues like the NBA is like the pinnacle. It's the top if you want to play basketball. You could be in the CBA, you could be in the developmental league. I'm assuming that in the world of competitive eating, the MLE, the Major League Eating, is the pinnacle.
Definitely. Most definitely.
Outstanding. I mean,
top eaters in the world.
Well, number 15 in the world. I mean, how many folks are out there that are doing this on a regular basis?
You know, at my level, I wouldn't say 50 maybe, you know, if that, you know, I mean, they rank the top 50 in the world with Major League Eating, but, you know, we're all not, you know, there's a reason why we're, you know, there's the top 10, the top 15, the top 20, but, you know, there's independent eaters, there's, you know, other eating leagues across the world. I want to say maybe there's 100 people doing what I'm doing, but at my level, I don't think there's 50
Wow.
people in the world.
Outstanding. Well, you and I met via these little guys right here, and we're both smoking the Protocol brand. Representing the good folks at Protocol.
Definitely.
What do you like to smoke besides Protocol? Do you have a variety, or?
You know, I really go to the Protocol line. You know, I enjoy their whole line. I've been, you know, I hang out at the you know, Caravan Cigar Company, and I like their, you know, their 2 cigars, which they're Protocols though, so they're brought in from Protocol. And
yeah, well, they're all everything's made by Eric Espinosa at La Zona down in Nicaragua.
Yes, so the whole line's great.
Yeah, I mean, everything. Eric, I did a podcast a little while back with, I couldn't talk to anybody in the circle of La Zona. So anybody, whether that was the Protocol guys, Caravan, anybody, I had to talk to the Alpha Dog first. He was in, bro, you got to talk to me first before you talk to the people. So I'm not even allowed to talk to his salespeople, his blenders, the Heckle and Jekyll show, nothing. I had to talk to Eric first and get him on board. And now I got him out of the way, I'm allowed to talk to everybody now. So there you go.
Very cool. You know, when I first started, I liked like La Flor Dominicans. You know, I was a go-to back in the day. I used to smoke. I mean, I haven't even seen them around. Fat cigars out of I don't know, Arizona, Colorado. You know, the peach. You know, back in the day. But just, you know, I just enjoy a good smoke, and you know, getting hooked up with Protocols. You know, I'm excited to be able to.
Yeah, you hit a home run with those guys. I mean, again,
oh yeah,
the stuff Definitely. That they have being blended for them, you know. And what's interesting, you know, especially in these times, that these guys are still coming out with all kinds of new stuff. I mean, I'm smoking the newest size of the Sir Robert Peel, the Corona Gorda size, which, you know, is a delicious cigar. You're smoking the Protocol. They came out with the green pea recently for Kevin for that cybersecurity. These guys are making, you know, they had the release last month of the Taser that they did with
another great cigar.
Yeah, I mean, that was a full bodied, you know, great stick. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, those guys are cool. They're you know, again, and it's not many people coming out with new stuff, so it's pretty neat that they are coming out with the new. So let's get into what it is you do, which is competitive eating.
Yes.
How did you get into it?
You know, it's funny. Oh man, we're going back probably 11 years ago now, or 12 years ago. I was standing in line to pay my cable bill, and there was a young lady in front of me paying her cable bill, and she's chit-chatting with the girls. I'm going back to Coney Island. I ate 15 hot dogs and buns, and I chuckled. And she turned around and she's like, "Oh yeah, you think you eat more hot dogs than me?" And I'm like, "Well, probably. Like, and she's like, well, put your money where your mouth is, and come to practice and see how many you could eat. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, And I ran into her a few times around town, and I started sparring with her. I'll call it, just to help her practice. And she became my mentor. And make a short story, little longer. She finally talked me into trying to qualify. Like my first time, I ate maybe 16, 17 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes. And she's like, wow, you really could do something. And I'm like, these guys were eating 40, 50 hot dogs at the time. And I'm like, no, I'm good where I'm at, And 5 years go by, I'm sparring with her. She finally talks me into qualifying. I go to my first qualifier at Pocono Raceway. And just the MC hyping the crowd up and announcing you, I got hooked. The rush, getting called out on stage, the crowd going crazy. And I think I ate 17 hot dogs and buns that day in 10 minutes. I came in second place. And I walked off stage, and one of the greats, Badlands Booker, he comes up to me. He's like, man, you got a talent. You need to work on it. You need to hang out with us and, do this. And I'm like, So a couple years go by, I try to qualify, and I get, they Major League Eating is like, hey, why don't you do, become pro, hit the circuit, see what you could do with other, foods besides just hot dogs. I'm like, all right. I hemmed and hawed about it. 2018 comes around. I did it, hit the circuit, and I haven't looked back. I love it. I debuted at 18th in the world. I went to 12th in the world, and now I'm back at 15th. Because every year they change the rankings, and it only changes a little bit. Like we were talking about, the top 50. So the top 3 guys are really close. They could beat each other anytime, that one of them are having an off day, right? So then, the next group, I would say it's like 4th to 15th, 4th to 16th, 18th in there. It's really interchangeable. Any day, anyone can have a good day, bad day, and we're all so close. We're talking quarter hot dog, half a hot dog away from each other in competition. So I really haven't looked back. I just been moving forward with this life-changing experience, traveling the country, eating food, and now getting paid for it.
Wow, outstanding. So, how do you, people might laugh about it, but you have to train your body to be able to handle, the food that obviously you're taking in. What's your training regimen look like? What's a day, a week in the life of George Chiger about?
Sure. So, in the early days, I thought it was just like hot dog season from April to July. And that's how my mentor runs it. We train hard 3 months out of the year for the hot dogs, stretching the stomach based on, large volumes of liquid in a very short period of time. And then, large meals all the time. And looking at that, I'm like, okay, this works, but I knew I needed to do something different. So I train year round. So it's usually a 5 to 6 day training arrangement. Get up, stretch my stomach with liquid, huge salad, 5-6 pound salad for lunch, and a decent dinner. And sometimes I'll go splurge and hit a buffet and stuff, but it's really all about keeping, the stomach capacity stretched. And then when there's a technique-y food or something new, we like to train. So right now we're back in hot dog season. So I'll train once a week with my, Laurel, my mentor, with hot dogs. And last week I started out with 10 hot dogs and buns. I ate in 4 minutes and 40 seconds.
There you go.
20 hot dogs and buns. I'm sorry, 20 hot dogs and buns in 4 minutes and 40 seconds last week for my first hot dog run of the year. So
that's a great start. What's the record? 72?
5? I think Joey's at 75. Wow. And Mickey might have hit, I don't know, 42 or 46 for the women's. So my personal best is 31 and a half in qualifying. I want to get into that 50 mark, because if I could do that, I'll still be in the top 10 in the world that's ever hit 50 in competition. And that would just be
that's 50 hot dogs
awesome.
and buns in 10 minutes.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I know I got the pace in the beginning, but I got to be able to do the marathon, because I've done, 10 hot dogs and buns in a minute 45. With the five, the 20 hot dogs in 5 minutes, it kind of puts me off. But if I could get that number, under 4 minutes, and then, grow on my numbers for the season, I'm looking forward to it. And it's all about just pushing yourself to the limits. And you got to, it's mental. I'm working on my yoga. I'm working on my breathing. I'm, my mental aspect of it, because everything that you were ever taught as a child, chew your food, don't swallow chunks, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely different. I need to, I need to tell myself, stop chewing, swallow, and it's just really becomes
you train your stomach and your esophagus too, no?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. To take in larger, chunks. Is, really you're looking at, I choke quite a bit because you do, take large bites and you're forcing it down, but then with the liquid, you're pushing it down also. I won't do a food challenge or a competition without liquid. There are some challenges out there. Oh, no liquid. You got to eat this piece of cake. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
That's how people get hurt.
Have you experienced any adverse health effects ever?
No, I have not. Knock on wood. I've lost 100 pounds since I got into the business with training. Hot dog. Doing my hot dog runs and everything. My cholesterol's down. My blood pressure's down. My sugar's down. The doctors are loving me. And I do more than a yearly checkup. I walk in there and they're like, "Oh, the hot dog guy's back," because I need to get my blood work done and make sure I'm healthy. And they just can't. I'm like, "You lost weight?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just ate 500-600 hot dogs in the last 3 months. I lost another 5 pounds or 10 pounds." And it just blows their mind how I speed up my metabolism, and I'm losing weight doing this.
That's outstanding. Well, yeah, and you're not. Neither one of us are small guys. I'm like 6'6", and I go roughly 240, and you're right up there with me.
Definitely, yeah. I'm probably 6'6" and change, and I'm 330. I think I weighed myself this morning. So by 4th of July, I'll be down to 300 pounds. From now to then, I'll lose another 30 pounds during hot dog season. And so I'm excited.
Yeah, it sounds.
See what this year brings.
Competition versus exhibition. I'm assuming that, in a competition that you're there to obviously try to win, try to get paid, versus, I see you do a lot of local stuff. You're a PA guy, and I see you doing a lot of things for, businesses that are maybe having a grand opening or an anniversary or something like that. Do you do exhibitions? And if so, can the people book you to come out and do exhibitions?
Oh, definitely. I'm all about supporting local and small business on, everywhere. But, when I have opportunity to do something, close to home, I really enjoy it. But, it's all about bringing, recognition to the business, that we're there to support. To do a expedition, a food run with their local, with their go-to meal, or for if they're creating a challenge. And I've worked with a handful of restaurants over the last couple of years on making challenges for, their restaurants to bring, notoriety to them. And, then of course I get to set the record and the pace for it to go. So, and I'm always looking for,
what did you do at Biagio's? Because I just had lunch there today, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
Joe was there, and he's always there. But
he's always there.
What did you do at Biagio's?
So at Biagio's, I just went in and I had the opportunity to meet Joe and his family through the the Lehigh Valley Pizza shop page that my buddy Oliver runs, and he's like, "Oh, you got to check out this pizza place." And I met Joe, and he is so passionate about everything he does there and how he makes his dough. I have a man crush on him. 100% on how he is into his pizza and his food. So I had the opportunity to go there, and Joe's like, yeah, just come in, have lunch, you know, and pretty much I was just doing a review. So we went in, and they're like, well, what do you want to eat? And I said, Joe, I want to eat what you would eat. And he brought me out 3 different pizzas, you know, 3 different red sauces on the, you know, 3 different pizzas. I ended up eating like a 14-inch cheesesteak of theirs, you know, and I just kind of, yeah, it's awesome. I had a little smorgasbord of food, and I'm going back. I'm going to start doing more stuff over there, you know, doing their chalkboard reviews and different things. And that's what I'm really kind of transitioning in, because with COVID last year, normally we have like 50 competitions through Major League Eating, and maybe I could hit 20 of those. And, you know, last year there was 5. So it's really changed everything. But now with everything, trying to support local, get out there, tell people what's going on. You know, like today I did a cheesesteak review at Caddy Corner, neighborhood pub and pie, and it was awesome. You know, check out their new cheesesteak. I just did a review a couple weeks ago, and unfortunately I had to change something because they, you know, suppliers and prices and all that. And they're like, hey, we got a new cheesesteak. Come in and talk about it, see what you think. And I went in and did it, and it's just awesome to be able to go eat new food at different places I would normally not go. And then I get to tell people about it, you know, my opinions on it.
Well, I mean, you're a major league eater, so I mean, you should have some say in that. I tell you, that's outstanding. Now, Joe,
I mean,
solid. I was just I had his forget about it cheesesteak today, and I had to go with the small. The small is a beast as it is, and the large is just it's too much for me. But anyway, I digress. So, what is it you're training for now? You said it's hot dog season.
It is hot dog season, but during so the qualifiers are normally, you know, through April to July 4th. And unfortunately, nothing's posted right now. Last year with COVID, you know, I got an email that you're not going to be, you know, we're going to have the event, but unfortunately you're not invited because where you're ranked at, blah, blah, blah. But next year, and it's like, okay, no big deal. But then they called me like 72 hours out. Hey, the world's shutting down. Your state's not one of them. You know, you're allowed to come to New York. Can you, you know, would you want to participate? And I went. I didn't do good. I mean, I finished 4th, but my numbers weren't good. So this year, I'm definitely training for hot dog season. I don't know what's going on for 4th of July, if there is going to be an event or non-event. Mm-hmm. But things are opening up. I'm going to Florida next week for sweet corn for this weekend at the Sweet Corn Fiesta in West Palm Beach. And hopefully I'm going to, you know, eat 60 plus ears of corn in 12 minutes. That's my goal.
Wow.
You know, the world record right now is 61 3/4, and I hope to get close to it.
I've seen, you did a video where you ate 12 pounds of corn in one sitting?
Oh yeah. The quarantine lockdown, it might have been 15 pounds. I could be wrong, but like the big number 10 cans of just sweet corn, 45 minutes or so.
What other stuff have you eaten? I mean, besides hot dogs and wings and pizza.
Well, I've done 12 pounds of red beans and rice in, I think it was 10 minutes in New Orleans last year. That was one of the competitions we've had. I've done 38 bratwursts in 10 minutes out at Cincinnati's Oktoberfest, 142 wings in 12 minutes, 132 Hostess donuts, the little powdered sugar guys.
Yeah.
You know, that was my first MLE contest that I did. I want to say I finished 4th or 5th. I was in the money. It was my first contest. I finished in the money. I was happy. And, you know, that's really exciting. But I've been to Canada. I've eaten, you know, 12 pounds of poutine, 8 pounds of shrimp cocktail out in Indiana. And then, you know, regular challenges. I've done barbecue challenges. You know, I'm eating 7 to 10 pounds of barbecue. Out in Jersey, there's a Clinton Station Diner that they have a huge burger. It's a 105-pound burger. Me and my friends went in there, and we ate a 105-pound burger in 59 minutes. Yeah. So I've done 12 pounds of grilled cheese sandwiches. I mean, just anything you really think of, I've tried and done. And I drink, beer like it's going out of style too. I could drink a pitcher of beer in like 20 some seconds.
I've
So,
seen beer. I've seen you do soda, Four Loco. You just drink it.
oh yeah, yeah. Get a little crazy. My White Claws, the 40, chugging the big old English 40s and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can really consume a lot in a short period of time. I think I've done like 44 cups of pudding. It's just fun. Like I really just pick something and I go at it. Pizzas, I've done 10-pound pizzas, 30-inch pizzas by myself.
Why the gloves? I always see you wearing gloves.
It's messy. My mentor got me into it, but the food's messy. And, a lot of the areas that we're at, we don't have, we're at fairgrounds, baseball stadiums. We don't have that immediate walk off stage, wash your hands, you're clean. So, I can wear my gloves, rip it off, boom. And then it's just kind of became a signature thing for me to continue to wear my gloves.
Yeah, that's so. I was thinking about that. I was like, well, between the water that you're drinking and, you're trying to stuff buns and everything else, I'm like, guys' fingernails must be a nightmare after something like that. But the gloves save them.
Yes.
So the July 4th, obviously, that's for most people like myself that are kind of interested in, competitive eating. I think that the Nathan's hot dog event on July 4th to me is like the Super Bowl of competitive eating. That's where, I've heard of the people that you've mentioned and, others that you haven't, that, when I brought your name up the other day, somebody's like, well, why don't you get Joey Chestnut? I said, I don't think I could afford a Joey Chestnut if I wanted to. But, Joey's a good guy. I hang out with him. I get to, go have a couple beers with him when we're traveling out at different events and stuff. But yeah, the Nathan's Hot Dogs event is definitely the Super Bowl of our sport, and it's an honor to be part of it. I've been a part of it the last 3 years. 2018, I qualified third in the world to go with my numbers. 2019, it was fourth, but I got knocked down like third to fourth because someone beat me by a half a hot dog. And that's how close our competition is in the top 10, 15 people. It's, we're talking quarter hot dog, half hot dog with the numbers. And that's like, it's probably the easiest way to compare apples to apples for everybody when we're eating. So it's a lot weighs in on where you qualify, where you finish with, the Nathans, because that's our big event a year. Yeah. Well, that's, like I said, that to me is where, most people, understand or get to see competitive eating, other than, the little things that you do and other people do around, local shops and, setting records for them and things like that, which is really cool. So let me ask you, George, how can people follow you, find you, find out what you're up to, what kind of social media you're on? And, this is your chance to plug away. Tell people how they can.
Okay. So George the Smorgasbord Chiger, you got the hashtag, the Smorgasbord. You could, hashtag the Smorgasbord list across all the social media platforms. If you just Google me, George Chiger, I come up. I got my YouTube channel where I think we're almost at 60 videos in the last 12, 13 months. And we're just keep doing more and more with the videos. Now the food reviews are coming out on YouTube. Also on, I'm on, TikTok. All the kids are on now. So I'm on there doing, my little thumbnails and everything for my videos, Instagram, Twitter. Like I said, George Chiger, George the Smorgasbord Chiger. I'm out there. You can find me.
Outstanding. Well, sir, I thank you for coming on. Is there anything else you'd like to cover?
No, I just, thank you for having me. And we didn't go over this at the Super Bowl recently. I was down there with DraftKings eating with Major League Eating on their tailgate party. And I'm the new easy cheese chugging champion of the world. So I guess maybe I should have led with that. But, I ate a pound of cheese in 58 seconds. I'm excited.
You also hold several world records. So, don't sell yourself short here, sir.
It's true. Yeah, I do have a couple records. So, which I'm happy about. But you guys can go check out my YouTube channel. It's all out there, what records I've beaten. And hopefully I'll hold some of them for a while.
Outstanding. Well, thank you, sir, for giving us the time for being on the old J Bro show. I appreciate you, and best of luck to you. Happy training.
Well, thank you.
All right, sir.